The best.
Alaska. Now, you toured with her for the Twisted Circus tour.
You're being good to me. These are all people I like. I'm waiting for the bitch who's gonna get me turned and have to finish my drink. No, Alaska's amazing. Alaska and I have worked together numerous times. In fact, I would say she's the only RuPaul's Drag Race sister, besides, of course, the House of Edwards, to really include me in her projects. I've worked with Alaska on Give Me All Your Money. She's flown me to Chicago. She flew me to New York. I mean, Alaska loves me. And to have a sister that supports me in that way, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced. I really do believe she is the #1 RuPaul's Drag Race fan, and she will do whatever she can with her platform to celebrate not just herself, but everyone else involved. I mean, she knows quotes from season 1. Like, she is truly a die-hard fan. So to have her approval and to have her want me to be a part of her projects, it's amazing.
And we can never forget her classic Laganja Walking in Nature video. That was fantastic.
Well, and you know what? Let's go ahead and clear the air while we're here, because lots of people want to know this. You know, I was known for saying, okay, on RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, everyone knows me for the like Cardi B. But in real truth, if we want to break it down, that was Alaska. Alaska started that with that video. I don't think I ever rolled my R's on RuPaul's Drag Race, but she took it to the next level, and because she was impersonating me, it came back to me. So that's been amazing, and I love that, but I do want to give props to my mama for the fact that she was the one to really roll the R's first.
Fantastic. The T has already been spelled.
I know, we're not even halfway in.
Look at her.
Oh.
Manila Luzon. Now, you just visited with her a little while ago on the pit stop.
That's right, that's right. You know, I love that we started with her, because I actually love her. So we're starting off good, you know, even ground.
Right.
I think Manila is an incredible artist. I really love her unique style of drag. I love the way that she's able to bring looks to life. You know, she thinks of a Manila folder and then brings that into life in an outfit. So I love that she's kind of kitschy, but always keeps it couture.
Now, do you still watch Drag Race?
I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of Drag Race, so I need you to be more specific when you ask that question.
Did you watch All Stars with Manila?
Yes, I absolutely watched All Stars.
And what did you think of that whole performance? Those looks were incredible, and her exit was dramatic.
She turned it, first and foremost. That gray look that she gave us, I'll never forget it. I mean, it was so beautiful. She just posted it recently on her Instagram. I thought she did amazing. I really do. I feel like she showed how she has grown, but also she showed that, like, I've been that bitch since always. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't show you a new character. She didn't try to be something that she's not. She just went on and was herself, because quite honestly, that's fierce.
Now, I've heard a rumor that they ask you every year whether you want to be on All Stars, and you always say, no, thank you, but thank you.
Well, that's sort of true and sort of not. Many years I have said no, but there have been some years I've said yes. 1 year I said yes. In fact, it was the year that Gia went on. And due to the fact that they did not have a complete consensus from my psychological exam, there was some interesting information that needed to be divulged in order for them to feel comfortable as a company, and I disagreed with that. So ultimately, I was not on that season of Drag Race. But what I do want to say is, the fact that I am asked back every year means the world to me. I truly would not be here if it wasn't for World of Wonder, and that's why I've tried to stress to them the many years that even though I don't want to participate as a competitor, I want to participate as a lip sync assassin, as a choreographer. You know, I still want to participate. I love the brand. It's just for me being a competitor, that doesn't work for her.
And do you still have PTSD from your original season? Because, honey, you guys, we know from your very first appearance, that was very traumatic. People were hardcore. Now it's more normal that people get that hardcore response. That's sad, but true. Like, what happened to you has happened to countless queens since you.
And I'm so lucky that when it was happening, you know, one of the worst things I ever received was the fact that my father had given me HIV. There was a video on YouTube made about this that unfortunately he saw. But that was like kind of the worst that I had gotten. Now people are told to kill themselves. So luckily I didn't face as much, I didn't face as much critique as the dolls do now, but it was still difficult for me back in 2014 when I was receiving those negative critiques.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. We'll see you on All Stars because I know you would slay. Look out. Trixie Mattel.
Trixie Mattel, Mama, one of the #1 superstars of RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, talk about opening doors for people. In fact, I believe she was just on the top 20 charts of iTunes for her music.
Yeah.
So, do I get jealous? Absolutely. I'm not gonna even sit up here and lie to you. Do I get jealous of the fact that she is so successful? I do. But at the end of the day, she has talent. So at least I'm jealous of someone who is talented. At least I'm jealous of someone who can tap dance, sing music, run a Twitch account. She just started doing virtual 3D streaming. I mean, she is ahead of the curve. And so I look up to her. I look up to any queen who can do something better than I can. Absolutely.
She's doing it big, honey. Look at her. Gia. Gia sipped the drink.
How did you know? How did you know? I said, let me go ahead and take my sip. Now, I knew this one was coming, Johnny.
Well, I mean, you're classic, Team 2 Lives.
I knew this was coming.
We are all personally invested in how everything's going in your friendship.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've thought a lot about this moment and how I would answer it because you guys know I'm a rehearser. She comes from a musical theater background, so we practice our answers. But I didn't want to practice this answer because I wanted to be able to just be real in the moment. And what I'm going to say about Gia is, first off, I always kept our relationship behind closed doors. She was the first girl to come on Hey Qween and spill the tea. So she opened this pot.
Okay.
So let me just go ahead and stir up in it.
Okay.
You know, Gia and I's relationship has been one that has been very tumultuous. We agree to disagree a lot of the times, and there have been moments where we've had to have a serious timeout. Now, that being said, Gia and I have always come back around together. Unlike some of the other people who I'm sure will be up on this slide very soon. You know, Gia and I have always had a line of communication, even when we disagreed. And I feel like we are on a trajectory that is really good. It's really positive. I had to tell her in COVID, I had to come clean with her and say, look, you know, our friendship is not what it was. Our friendship is not what it once was. But that being said, it doesn't mean that it can't be that again one day. However, there's a lot of work that's gonna have to be done on both sides because of course I am just as guilty as her, but that's what we're doing. We're taking it a day at a time and we're dealing with this like real friends do who struggle, right? We're talking, we're communicating, we're expressing our differences. So while it may not all be Team Too Much and roses and, you know, glitter falling from the ceiling and all the things that we're known for, there is a love there, and there is a real appreciation of one another. And I just hope as we continue to develop on our own, away from one another, that it eventually will lead back to being where we once were, because I've never celebrated times in this world like I have with her. I mean, we have stories that are just unbelievable. They're not even Hey Qween worthy, Mama. We can't even spill the tea. I don't even think y'all got the explicit content for that.
Right.
But I love her. I really do. I love her with all my heart, and even though I don't necessarily agree with her a lot of the times, COVID and masks, I feel that my sister is my sister, and that's just it. We're real sisters, and real sisters communicate with one another, and they deal with their problems, and we have dealt with that off camera, on camera, and I believe that's what makes us strong.
Look at Alyssa Edwards, another old friend of yours.
That's right, Miss Alyssa Edwards. You know, everybody has been wanting the tea on the House of Edwards. Especially during quarantine, because I think they all wish that we would do like some big quarantine reunion and really give the gays what we need.
Yeah.
But quite honestly, I don't think a producer has that amount of money. I think it would take a lot of money to get the House of Edwards all back together in the same room. But here's what I'm gonna say about this. I would not be here today if I would not be here today if it wasn't for the House of Edwards. Before Hey Qween, there was House of Edwards.
Yeah.
They were the first people to truly change my narrative in the drag community. And, I have very limited communication with Alyssa, but the communication we do have is positive. And I can tell you that even though we disagree on how our friendship ended, we love each other and we want each other to be successful in our own right. And even though we may not be a part of each other's success, there's no ill will there. There can't be. We spent 10 years together before House of Edwards even started,
right,
working in her dance studio. And those are years that I will truly never forget, and I will always, always be grateful for. And do I have hope that our friendship will one day be amended? Of course I do. I do, because not being friends with the people who make you a better person, that's difficult. You want to be friends with the people who have challenged you and pushed you in different directions. But I've also learned that everything comes at the right time. So while we may not be kikiing or throwing texts back and forth, when I do throw the text back and forth, because I did during COVID, I was passing a homeless person on the street, and one of the best one of the best lessons she ever taught me was to give one of your drag dollars to the homeless. And I texted her and said, this is not meant to be shady, but every time I see a homeless person, I think of you. And I think about the fact that, you are a really giving person. And at the end of the day, that woman gave me so much, so much. And that's why ultimately I hope that one day we will be friends again. Because even though there is this conflict, what I see now is beautiful learning lessons and just a disagreement. And I think all people can get over disagreements if you really love someone. So if you're watching, Alyssa, I love you. I think you're one of the most amazing queens out there. And I can't wait till one day we're friends again.
Time for the Hey Queen tissue box again, darling.
Girl, if you got Laganja on, there's gonna be tears, honey. There's gonna be tears. Hopefully there's no running mascara, though, because I did use my Gerard cosmetic.
Oh, you look stunning still, no matter what. Well, I hope that it all works out. I mean, you're both so talented, so wonderful, and we really the audience just loves seeing you together, but we still love you apart, too.
Well, thank you. And I really, like I said, I do believe one day when someone has a lot of money, the House of Edwards will be reunited, and we will be giving the gays what they rightfully deserve.